Leus, unlucky. That was a sensational night of cricket from the sidelines, but I know that won't be much satisfaction for you guys at the moment.
Yeah, it obviously never feels as good when you put up an effort like that and you come out on the wrong side, but can't fault the guys' efforts there. Love the way that we're competing at the minute. Love the way that we step up in moments. We're not quite accurate yet, but there's some really promising signs there.
It seems like you guys are enjoying it out there in T20 at the moment. I know we've talked about varying factors, but it seems like another night where a full house in front, a big crowd, 20-odd thousand here tonight against the side who are now top of the Southern Group, but Middlesex pushed them all the way.
Absolutely, you're spot on. It's such a lovely occasion for us to come and play in front of a crowd like this. For a lot of the guys, this will be as close as you get to international cricket for sure. So fortunate to be able to have evenings like this during the season. The way that we are playing at the minute, it really does excite me. Like I've said to you before in the previous games, it's we are judged on our results. I do get that, and no one likes losing. I absolutely hate it, but there's some promising signs there. We do have a very young group, and that's pretty obvious to see at times, but can't fault their effort and can't fault the way that we step up against these big teams. You've mentioned Surrey, top of the league there. We gave Somerset a pretty good go. Hampshire was also so close. So, there's a lot to look forward to for sure. But the key will be now how to push on from here, because it's not good enough yet. But the way that we're going about it is very encouraging.
It's been a year almost of what ifs, whereas in years gone by it's been a year of what now.
Yeah, I've not been long enough to comment on what's happened too far down the past. But if I can compare it to what's happened last year, there were certainly times that I felt that we were almost bullied. I don't know if that's a very harsh word, but I definitely feel that we've stepped up this year, and that even with Eski leading from the start there, it was definitely a clear attitude change, and just our overall standards. Yes, there's small refinements that we can make and improvements in our accuracy on certain times, but I think there's some promising stuff that lies ahead.
And having lost the game at Canterbury, that mathematically was the end of it. This was a game against Surrey, gunning for the top of the table, where perhaps it could have gone badly wrong. The game had gone, the group had gone, but not only to come back against Surrey, but to come back again second time in that innings and go so close at the end, having looked a long way off and then all of a sudden so very close. Another marker of just where that belief clearly is in the side now.
Yeah, it's a great point, that, and I'd take it back to it's all about the way that we go about it. We got close into the end there. I wouldn't quite say that we were far off at one stage. You always believe if it's in and around, even 15 to 20 runs and over. Yes, it sounds like a big stretch, but it only takes one over, like you saw there. A bit of brilliance from Lukey and Higgy there to keep us within reach, and CJ was more often than not going to close the innings off there, which is fine. But leading up to it, there's a lot for us to be proud of.
How important to go to Cardiff and finish it off on a high, whether it is the result or not, but just keep these performance levels, because that probably feels like what's key at the moment. All right, it would be nice to get a win, but the performance levels is something not only to take into next season, but also into the second half of the championship season, because that has hurt Middlesex over the years when T20's perhaps gone wrong, and it's left a few wounds. Absolutely, and that's why that whole behavioural thing that we talk about, the way that we go about it, is so important, because if we just delve too much into just the results, you can easily go into the last game in cruise mode, and that's exactly what I don't want. I want us to be on it from ball one, the exact same mantra that we've gone about the previous games, and fingers crossed we'll come out on top, but that'll be the attitude that we go into in Cardiff. And how have you enjoyed it, just finally? It's obviously one more game to go, but obviously you've had to pick up the reins. Sadly, personal news for Stephen Eskenazi handing over to you, and this you'll take over in the championship as well. How have you enjoyed the first few games at the helm? Absolutely, I think the guys have responded really well. We've definitely struggled with a few injuries also. Joshy Little is our main bowler on paper. If he's the only guy that's probably played most of the franchise tournaments and all that, so a big miss of him tonight. But guys have stepped up, and that's what I loved. Even Noz
tonight probably didn't go the way that he would have liked potentially, but he can't fault the attitude, can't fault the, just the intent in which he takes the ball and wants it every single time, and that's all you can ask for. This, like I said, there's some promising signs looking ahead.
Good luck Friday. Thanks for the time tonight.
Cheers, Annie. Cheers, Annie.